All right, what's goody? It's your boy Muscle Man Marcus, and you are watching Kicking It, sponsored by Kicks and Kilos. Today we're gonna talk about a couple things. First things first, and I made a little itinerary because I'm not trying to be on this John talking forever. I want it to be digestible, but I still want it to be like I still want it to be enjoyable and full of things. The first thing I want to talk about is sneakers. So I seen something that I seen this week that stood out to me was Ja Morant's. I don't know what the name of it. I don't know the number of it, but I'm gonna put it right there or somewhere. But Ja Morant posted a sneaker. He's coming out with a sneaker around Halloween, and it just brought me back to those moments. Now, if you've never stood outside of a store for a pair of shoes, then you're not going to really feel me. You're not going to understand me. But there was an era, a time where basketball shoes were the sneaker. Like people saved. I remember getting the LeBron Hornet nines and the LeBron X's, and one of my grails is the Blake Griffin Hyper Dunks. I remember a time where wearing sneakers like that was culturally accepted. And it's not to say that it's not accepted now. Like, I think what's going to become popular is that it's going to become the new norm. Because don't get me wrong, like, I love my ones. I love ones. I love J's. But there's something about, like, people will be like, oh, I'll never wear basketball sneakers with jeans. Bro, we was putting on basketball sneakers, like hooping shoes with jeans on. We wore them joints with cargos. We wore them joints with shorts. Like, it wasn't a thing. It was culture. Like, that's what you did. And I feel like streetwear, like in sneakerdom, is getting back to that point, and I love it so much. And shout out to Wale, because that's one of the main people who got me hooked on sneakers. Because the way, first of all, him as a poet, as an artist, it was different than what you would normally hear, especially in that early, not early 2000s, but like that 2013, 2017 area. He was putting it on, but like he was wearing infrared sixes and all these different things. I have a pair. Like, that's one of my favorite. Sixes is one of my favorite pair of shoes. I got them on now. But I want to see that happen, and I want to be a part of it. And so there's a couple pairs of sneakers. I like the James Harden ones, the Adidas. I like Ja Morant's. Even Angel Reese came out with her own signature pair. Aja Wilson came out with her own signature pair. Uh, who else? Caitlin Clark, she got them Kobe's. Them joints is hard. Like, I want to start getting more into those, because it's just the swagger. It's different. Another thing I want to start getting into is loafers, but we're gonna talk about that later. That's another conversation. Because these major brands are making Nike loafers and Adidas loafers, and I'm like, yo, is this a thing? But anywho, let's switch gears, and I want to talk to y'all about the state of powerlifting right now. So I watched USAPL Nationals. I watched Primetime, and the first thing that came to my mind as I was watching Primetime was that there's so much potential in these lifters, because this sport is very interesting. You get from this sport what you give, in terms of how much progress you make. And to see people make as much progress as they have, not even that, to see people lift some of the weights that they did, and you know, I'll go to the person's IG, I'll go find them. I'm like, yo, let me see if they got training. Let me go look at it. Let me see. And I'm just looking. I'm like, yo, there's so many great things about this lifter, but they don't understand the foundational stuff about lifting yet. They don't understand the technical stuff, and they just don't understand their body just yet. And I just be like, yo, if they just knew how to flex their triceps, or they knew how to what their lats were supposed to feel like. These small things, if they knew, they would be such an amazing lifter. Because it was people, bro. It's people on that platform, and they were legit like good. Like I was impressed. Obviously, this is not PLA, and it's not powerlifting from the school that I came with, the era that I came with. It's not as intense. It's also not as competitive as it was before, because nationals all across the board, men and women, from the lowest to highest. When you went to a primetime session, that joint was crazy. The session was small in a sense where like the venue was small, and so everything was a little bit more intimate, but it was just a different level of competition. And part of the reason you don't see too much of that now is because we're losing that grit of competition. There's very few people that want to put up or shut up, but a lot of people are just kind of doing it just because. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But this is the main point. Powerlifting is getting to a point where there is a new group of people coming in. There's fresh blood coming in, a new batch of people. They're looking at what the current people are doing now. They sit in watching y'all YouTubes. They sit and watching y'all Instagrams, especially the ones with the followers and the influencers. They're looking at y'all, and they're like, bro, I don't care about how many subscribers you got. I don't care about how many sponsors you got. That don't mean nothing to me. I'm trying to bomb on you. Like, they don't care. They don't care. Men and women, boys and girls, teens, bro. Even the OGs. Like, a lot of people are still lifting. A lot of new people at different ages are coming in to train and to lift, and it's like you probably won't see the regeneration probably until like early next year or midsummer 2026. But yeah, that social media lifting is cool, but in terms of powerlifting, these kids are coming to compete. Because bro, you gotta think, bro. We about to come into a point. It's powerlifting and strength training is extremely accessible. You can go on YouTube. You can learn how to do it, bro. These kids are not slow, bro. These kids are smart. They're like, yo, I ain't got the riz. I ain't got none of the things that make these influencers. I don't have that. But what they do got is some strength, and they do not care. They're like, yo, I'm gonna max out my ability to just understand how to do this well. And a lot of people that powerlift now, they kind of just use the fact that they're talented or they're skilled or genetics. They use those natural things to help carry them. And it's like, until you really get down to the nitty gritty and you start understand what you're missing or what makes a good powerlifter whole, bro, you're cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many things that I started to reach out to some of these people and just be like, yo, if you worked on this, if you did this. But the problem with the people that are going to get left behind, the problem is that they can't take criticism. And you got to think, bro, a lot of people that powerlift never played a sport before. So if you come to them critiquing them, they're going to think that you're talking about them as a person. But it's like, my critique is not coming to harm you as a human. Like, when I coach people, I come to you as somebody who's like, this is what we're doing wrong. This is how we need to get better. If we do these things, we'll reach our goal. That's my job. But a lot of people hire coaches for friendship or to coddle or to... There's different levels. There's novice, intermediate, advanced, elite. There's different levels. And you got to understand where a person is or where a person might be in that journey. Not everybody is trying to be elite. And I understand that. But most people are stuck in that beginner, intermediate phase simply because their quality of movement isn't that good. their habits outside of the gym. Because if we just look at total, what are we comparing it to, right? What are we comparing? We should low key we should just look at total in terms of how we're differentiating between who's good and who's not. But for a learning experience, like for just understanding, I want to talk about. I wanted to bring up those intangibles like movement quality, uh, understanding how you're supposed to be moving outside of training, like attitude. These things are so small, but they're so important, and you can see someone who is seasoned. You can tell like what type of time they're on, essentially about how they moving and how they talking about things versus somebody who's hasn't been doing it that long. You can tell like, oh, they're not moving well or this, that, and the third. But the problem is that nobody can be told what to do. I remember, bro, when I first started powerlifting, I was literally begging someone to tell me like, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. Do it like this, do it like that. Now there's information overload everywhere, and everybody has access to the information, and now they just they just post about it, or they just give it to you. It used to be about practicality and practice. You could, if I'm telling you about something, I could also show you. A lot of the people that tell you what to do don't do it or don't know how to do it. And so that's going to be the main issue. Is there's going to be people who understand that they're not doing something right, and they're going to take the necessary steps to change it, whether it be mentorship, coaching, YouTube, trial and error. If you're smart enough, you'll make it. And then there's those people who are just going to be like, I'm good, or I'm going to keep doing it like this. And the way they make progress is going to be very subpar in comparison to their counterparts. A lot of people in powerlifting think they need to try harder, but they need to try less in the gym, and they need to work on the other things. They need to work on going to bed. They need to work on eating. They need those things. If you're a young powerlifter, bro, go to bed, bro. Get off the game. Go to bed. And this is coming from somebody who didn't go to bed and was on the game. Granted, genetics, talent, cool. Years of muscle memory, able to use that. But again, that's the difference between good and great. It's like, how long are you going to rely on these talents, these gifts that you have? You're going to run out. And when I say run out, you're going to run into somebody who works hard and they're talented, or they don't give a skippity doo about nothing you talking about, and they just trying to run you into the water. So I really hope, I know powerlifting is going to shift, because once again, it's about numbers. It's about winning. It's about lifting more weight. It's not about looking like these things. It's about actually doing it. And the more young people that see it, it's going to be like Steph Curry. Steph Curry started shooting from anywhere. Now everyone is shooting from anywhere for poops and giggles successfully. These kids are going to notice what the best are doing. They're going to reach out, or they're going to reach out to vets. Reach out to me. I'm a vet. Aha. They're going to reach out to vets. They're going to reach out to people who've been in the game long, and they're going to get what they need to progress. They're going to understand. They're going to learn. They're going to have that willingness to be coached. Because it's hard to be coached into or at a level of something, especially if you're an athlete. Like if you come into powerlifting and you're an athlete and you get coached by someone who is not an athlete, it's going to be so easy for you to get strong. Your coach could literally be Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy, and you will get stronger. But what would behoove you is to go and find somebody who has done the things that you want to do, or is doing, or who's doing what you're doing, or has a track record. Like, these things matter. We can't, and that's another part of the problem. Is like, we can't keep talking about powerlifting as if like everyone's a coach, but doesn't everybody's not good. You know what I mean? Like credentials, resume, open powerlifting. Go to open powerlifting. Go to your coach or go to whoever. Go to their open powerlifting. If you see what they've done and you're like, yo, I want this person. You talk to them. I want this person to show me how they got here. I believe in what this person stands for. This person totaled this. Let talk to them. See if that's if that's the type of person you want to be around. See what's up. Check them out. But if we want to continue to improve and get better, we can't keep lowering the standard, because before you know it, first of all, powerlifting is already accessible to everyone. But we have to draw a line in the sand where it's like, this is next level. But we can't draw the line to a point where it's like, you're not ever going to be able to get there. And I feel like because so many people complained about totals, they changed them so often. Whereas there are people who are working to, like, when USAPL totals changed, I remember I said something about it and people got mad, just like any other time I say something about anything that makes sense. There were people who responded to that and was like, yo, I'm mad they lowered them because I was grinding. Like, I was working hard. There are people in powerlifting who find fulfillment in actually doing it well and making progress and getting better. And there's so much smoke and mirrors, we're losing that. And the accessibility is making it, we're losing it even quicker. And so, like I said, there are people who looked at them totals and was like, yo, I'm grinding, grind mode. I'm ready to work. Let's get it. Lowered them and they was like, yo, I can't believe that. I was really pushing myself. And that sucks. Most people gonna be like, nah, that's good. More people at nationals. Bro, it's nationals. It's supposed to be a very big event. And I feel like that's why structure in a federation is so important, because it's like, we need state meets to be important again. We need regionals to be important again, because everybody should not be able to go to nationals. Nationals should be an event where the top of the best go, not only the best go, but if you're there, you can still have an experience without being on a platform. Because a lot of people go and like, oh, I'm here for the experience. Like, if you're there to meet a lifter, there should be something set up to where something like that is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it needs to be an experience for the people who aren't even competing. And so I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but you have to work harder. You have to desire to be good at this for more I mean, shoot, if you just want to win, like, that's a good enough reason. I want to just win. I also love improving. Like, I love training. I love training hard. But I also want to win. But if you just want to win, like, that's a good enough reason. But stand on it. Like, if you want to beat people, stand on it. Don't be weird about it. Because when you be weird about it, you make it seem as though your effort doesn't mean anything. The fact that you're competing to win, it doesn't mean anything. Because somebody has to lose. And I think, and as somebody who has lost a lot, that's okay. The sport is about improving and getting stronger. We have to do it. And I'm not even going to speak on, I'm going to speak on the people. If you're trying to get better, if you're trying to improve at powerlifting, or you're new, I'm talking to you. You have to solely focus on improving. Don't worry about who sees you or who don't see you. Bro, when you start winning, if you have a personal brand and all that good stuff, when you start winning, people will see you. They're gonna see you, because as long as you spanking on everybody, there's no reason for them to not look at you. But as far as, bro, we gotta do better, man. Like, we have to. Like, I want to see the sport that I love, that I found out of nowhere. I want to see it grow, but I want to see it grow like every other sport. Like, they take competitive pickleball seriously. The reason we can't take powerlifting seriously is because there's not enough people taking themselves seriously. It's getting there. It's getting better with PLA and whatnot. But I'm trying to say that anybody can do this, bro. It's not, being talented helps. Being gifted helps. Having good genetics helps. But the most important thing is thinking that you deserve to be there. Thinking that if you work hard enough, you can achieve it. And that's what I don't see enough of. I've seen so many like sleeper build type people or swole people be like, yeah, I don't know if I could do this, man. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying right now? What does that mean? Who is telling you these things? Who is making you think this way? Shame on you. Like, and if somebody's talking to you like that or making you think that way, you need to get away from them. That's not where it's at. There's too many people who are not confident, and they have everything and more in terms of capability of getting to that top level, becoming elite. You have to think that you are something. As a man thinketh, so is he. Fellas, ladies, like, let's stop putting ourselves in this bubble to make everybody else comfortable. Let's stop putting ourselves in this bubble of, well, this is what Jenny from 2nd grade told me, or this was what my auntie told me when I was in 6th grade. Enough of that. Like, let's be strong. You're older now. You're an adult, and if you're not an adult, you're watching this, you're a teenager or a young woman or a young man. Just understand that it's your. All right, my fault. My camera died and I had to change the battery. But like I was saying, it's your decision. I'm gonna move on to the next thing. I hope that's sat. I hope that's sat with y'all. So the next thing. So I went on my story. We gonna turn into Rant Man Marcus because I'm finna start ranting more often. But I spoke on my story about breathing properly and how we should breathe as powerlifters. And I don't think people understand what I'm saying or why I'm saying it. But I told people they should nasal breathe instead of mouth breathe. The reason why I say that is because for again, there's caveat. Bench is the caveat. Probably need to take a mouth breath. But the goal is to create intra-abdominal pressure, right? The lungs work when the diaphragms work. So we want our rib cage to expand. And there's a lot of rib cage expansion. There's a lot of people talking about that stuff. And I'm just like, bro, I legit was reading about this 2 years before anybody put it out. And I was trying to tell people, and they're like, oh, this doesn't work, or it's stupid, this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right, cool. You keep being trashed, or you keep dealing with these same type of issues. And I also want to say that with that type of stuff, that's not the end answer. It is just a piece to creating the puzzle, to figuring out what this is supposed to look like at the end. And somebody who is good can use different tools to get to the end result. But the diaphragm is the muscle when it comes to breathing. When we inhale through our nose, our diaphragm contracts and it pulls our lungs down. When we exhale, it rises up and relaxes. If you can't use your diaphragm, if you can't breathe properly, if you can't feel your obliques, if you got pelvic floor issues, which most women do, that's why they pee on the platform. People be like, oh, it's something this. No, it's just an incontinence issue. It's not bad. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes when we have super high pressure, that is bound to happen. But any incontinence therapist would tell you, like, your pelvic floor is weak, and we can just work on it and change it, and it'll either stop happening or happen less. Like, it's not crazy, but if we don't set our body up to where it's stacked, the joints are on top of each other, and so that the muscles can work properly, we end up compensating. And a lot of times these things can improve if we just change it. Like, we just have to change how we breathe. When you before you squat, right? Before you unrack, a lot of people will just inhale. Stop that. Exhale first. could create the compression first. It's like we're trying to turn our body essentially into a giant metal piston. Create tension first with your air. You don't have to do all this rustling and tussling. The only reason you got to rustle and tussle is if your muscles aren't strong enough to lock you down in position. And that's most people in powerlifting problem. They try to do all this extra stuff and get tight. But if you breathe properly and you just get in the right place, your muscles will just get tight. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to contract when they're exerting force. You don't necessarily have to do it harder if you're in tune with your muscles and you know how to use them. They know how to work. They can't work if they're in a bad position or they're not strong enough. So if you fix those two things and you breathe, it's gonna work. But you should be feeling your obliques after that exhale. The obliques are the thing that keeps your pelvis and your rib cage connected to each other. We also have these giant lats that run down to our pelvis. I'm telling you, especially with low bar, if you just set up properly, sit there, exhale, tongue to the roof of your mouth, inhale through your nose, and do it gently. Bro, do not, like, what is that? What are you doing? Quit doing that. There's no need for that. I promise if you just do it properly and you trust the amount of air that comes inside when you inhale through your nose, if you just trust whatever that is enough. You will be fine. I promise. And if you're not fine, you have work to do. Something I do with my clients is I teach them how to use their diaphragm. We train it. It's a muscle. The show muscles and the go muscles. The go muscles you can't see. The show muscles you can see. We got go muscles. We got our psoas. We got our hip flexors. We got our diaphragm. You can't see those. But again, those are the things that make us go visually from the front. Those are show muscles. You can see them. But the ones you can't see, them go muscles, those are the ones that help you go. So they're important. But over time, what's going to happen if you keep mouth breathing, you have to stick your neck farther and farther out to get air in. Our neck is an accessory muscle to breathing, meaning that it's not the main reason we breathe, but it's a huge contributor because of the scalenes. You see what I'm saying? This clavicle area, especially if you bench a lot, or, you know, most of us are benching super frequently, it's going to get tight, bro. It's going to get mad crazy up in there. And the fact that we're mouth breathing and neck breathing on top of having all this weight on top of our back, it's not going to help. But most importantly, I want y'all to think about something. If you disagree, cool. But this should shake your tail feather. What other instance do you breathe through your mouth when you're about to do anything? In what instance do you take a giant mouth inhale? Think about that. And if I'm gonna be super surprised, because if that's the case, if you are doing that, you probably just sitting there neck head forward the whole time. Like, you can't do that, bro. Like, you can, but it's not efficient. It's just not. So again, we need to feel our obliques. When we inhale, we need to put our tongue to the roof of our mouth. We need to get an exhale first. We need to exhale and feel those obliques turn on. I promise you, I've had this discussion with people multiple times. It works. The only reason why it wouldn't work is because you're impatient, or you're realizing you can't lift as much weight as you could before, because now you're not compensating. Now you have to use the muscles that are necessary to actually do it properly. That's why the movement is going to be hard. A lot of y'all never felt y'all butt before. A lot of people never feels their quads. And you can tell because visually they just don't got a butt. They don't have quads. Like, all they got is hip flexor. Like, it's weird. If you understand anatomy, you can tell when somebody moves from their hips versus when they move from everything else. And that's another conversation for another day. And we ain't going to do that right now. But I'm going to put the link in my bio. 90-90 breathing. If you're not doing it, you should be doing, as a powerlifter, you should be doing it every single day. If you can do it twice a day, do it twice a day. Focus on the exhales, not the inhales. Focus on the exhales. not the inhales. I promise you, you will get better. You will start to relax. Those hip flexors will loosen up. You'll start to feel your glutes. Your hips will be in a better position. You'll feel taller. Focus on the exhale. Matter of fact, I ain't putting that in a bio. Y'all gonna talk to me. If you want to know what's up, reach out to me, and I might help you. Depends. I don't know. Uh, but I don't know how long this video is, so we gonna end it here. Not first, but last thing. So I'm finna kicks and kilos. We here, like we almost here, and so if you got a shirt from me before, that joint probably cooked because it was not good quality. But these Jones are good. Like this is gonna be your favorite shirt. And one of my main reasons for kicks and kilos is that a lot of people don't know how to dress. There's two things. A lot of people don't know how to dress. A lot of people don't know how to dress, and a lot of people I want to give people something that they can wear to the gym, or they can just put on in a fit and it look clean and it's not doing too much. Because sometimes it can be too much, but I want it to be chill. I want it to be fun. I want it to be swaggy, and that's it. But we gonna roll out slow. I don't know who now. I know who my audience is, but I don't know if you rocking with me or not. So if you rocking with me, what I need you to do is I need you to like, comment, share, subscribe, turn those post notifications on. Send this to a friend that is interested in powerlifting, that likes sneakers, the whole nine. Send that to somebody, repost it, whatever the case may be. If you got something out of this, I need you to like it up, share it up, comment too. Commenting helps. I don't know why people don't understand. Like when you comment on somebody's post, Instagram, what's the other one, Tiki? When you comment, like, it helps boost the volume of the value of the post. So do all those things. Get ready for kicks and kilos. Get your bread ready. It's gonna be good quality. It's gonna be nice. It feels good. I promise. And that's it. So I'm gonna see you on the next one. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Once again, it's your boy Muscleman Marcus, and this is Kicking It. And I'm kicking y'all to the curve. So peace. Go do all that stuff I said to.